Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple XRP. And mainly we're going to be talking about how XRP essentially will be the link between all money, essentially any sort of asset that needs to be moved cross borders. Essentially XRP is going to be moving that dollar figure. So overall, let's just jump into it. Let's talk about real quick what's happening in the market. So we are seeing Bitcoin kind of pull back here, a little bit of a sell pressure happening. Now we are seeing a little bit of a bleed throughout the market. We see XRP is down about 5%, totally fine. It's pretty much what I've been expecting. I'm waiting for a little bit deeper of a clean for the market. This will allow, of course, Bitcoin to break out of that resistance channel. So overall, not too concerned on that at all. Now, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. So the future of CBDCs, why all central banks must take action. So listen. We've been talking about CBDC for a very long time. We talk about interoperability. We talk about a lot of things that are happening throughout the entire world. First off, I just want to say right now, this was the biggest confirmation that we are seeing a massive shift throughout the financial markets. I know that I commented on this article now twice already on two separate occasions, but I want to comment on this again because this is 100% confirmation that XRP or Ripple is working with Quant. Now, I know that they're not mentioning QNT here, but in the article from the Digital Foundation or the Digital Pound Foundation, they already said that QNT is going to be helping Ripple leverage interoperability between assets. And I've already said this multiple times. And this is great to see because the overall quote that stands out to me is this: "We are excited to support the design and implementation of a digital pound in partnership with the Digital Pound Foundation. The foundation will help advance the UK's goal to build a more inclusive and sustainable financial system." Overall, the best part about this confirmation, or I should say this article and pretty much announcement, wasn't the idea that, listen, we are seeing CBDCs coming up. We know that Ripple has been working with CBDCs for a very long time, but this is confirmation of this entire idea coming to fruition. This goes all the way back to 2020. This entire white paper on CBDCs from Ripple is from 2020. Now, again, the COVID-19, whole entire decline of cash overall with cash use is what pretty much accelerated this, if we do see up here. Now, the best part about this is the idea of digital currencies or contactless payments and all that kind of stuff, because we already know that for the longest time, swiping your credit card or your debit card at the store was the best way to kind of transact, or even if you wanted to do online payments, of course, you would use something like PayPal or your card. Now, where does Ripple come into this, and why do CBDCs come up throughout this entire time? Well, we talk about the ease of CBDCs, and we always talk about XRP in the sense of, it being the bridge asset. It's the bridge asset, but that's not the only thing that it could do, right? That's not the end goal here for XRP. No, XRP and Ripple are essentially trying to get rid of pre-approved payments. What are pre-approved payments, and why are they a bad thing? Well, when you scan, or I should say, you slide your debit card at, I don't know, a gas station or even online or whatever. Well, every single time that you do that, your money is there pending, right? The transaction is pending for sometimes 5+ days. That's pre-approved. Those payments are pre-approved, and those are stuck in that 1960s time period of payments. We haven't prospered into a new age of technology since then, and that is exactly why this is the biggest part of the puzzle. We need to implement a new system, a new form of currency, and this is central bank digital currencies. This is the overall implementation that we've been waiting for. We even see here China's testing of the digital yuan payment system potentially threatens the US dollar's position as the dominant global reserve currency. February 2022 is when they are going to be launching this or testing it. Okay? And we do see here 1.7 billion number of unbanked adults across the world. CBDCs will help solve this problem. I've discussed this multiple times in regards to Hedera Hashgraph and also their CBDC initiative with MTech. There's a lot of things to really kind of talk about in regards to this, but here are those main benefits. Again, enhance the existing payments infrastructure because we need to increase speed, efficiency, while reducing costs and failure rates because the failure rates are fairly high. I've talked about this even with SMEs and B2B payments. 70% of SMEs report problems with cross-border payments. That is a big problem. That is a serious issue, okay? And especially considering the fact that it's $30 to $100 per transaction in fees alone. So just imagine, when you make a payment or you try to invest with Uniswap and the transaction fails, well, your gas fees are gone. I've seen some people lose $5,000 in that aspect. So when we're talking about reducing those costs and failure rates, that is a big stepping stone. That is the major pinpoint right now. But also, we talk about CBDCs being the future of fiat. And I do think that we will get there, because I think that when we're talking about efficiency, that is the big key component. Because we even go back to Visa and MasterCard essentially using a DLT technology, something like the XRP ledger, for an example, to build upon and actually prosper in utilizing something like XRP to really kind of move money around and transact with on a day-to-day basis, because we do know that they need a lot more efficient payment structures. So I think that this is great in regards to an infrastructure to be really built and to actually have that nice transactional speed and flow. Now we do see here 80% of central banks are actively exploring CBDCs. This map shows a subset of these countries, and here are those countries. We actually see here creating CBDC prototypes is in blue. There's a few like China. We see China, and we also see the Ukraine, and we also see Sweden. Now this actually has risen a lot. We actually see Bahamas. They already have their sand dollar with MTech, which is a partner of Hedera Hashgraph, which Hedera Hashgraph is going to be utilized as the trust layer for CBDCs. If you guys are, invest into Hedera Hashgraph, you guys definitely should. And then we also have the Eastern Caribbean, which we know MTech is working with on CBDCs. And then we also see Uruguay as well. So there's a few out there already. And then we also see Advanced Research Stage, which we do know Canada, Europe, the UK, of course, because we already know this is confirmation of the UK, and Thailand, Japan, Europe as well. There's a lot of places around that are working with CBDCs already, and a lot of research going on. And the US is in a very tough spot, especially considering the fact that they're going after XRP for securities and stuff like that in regards to that aspect. So overall, when we're talking about right now what's happening, we're stifling innovation within the U.S. Day by day as this SEC lawsuit goes on. But still, it doesn't matter. Who cares? We're still going to get to the idea of CBDCs, and I think that is going to be the biggest run in crypto history, because that's when we prosper into the utility-driven markets. Now, here are the main benefits. So most central banks are understandably cautious about or pursuing real-world initiatives. Everything from how people pay bills and buy groceries to how businesses transact and governments are run depends on a stable financial system. CBDC's initiatives raise many challenges for central banks, who must balance the desire for transformation and the need to maintain stability on a global scale. Now, this actually brings me to this idea, right? Issuing stablecoins on the XRP ledger. I think that this is the biggest stepping stone for what Ripple has actually allowed for them to really kind of innovate with, because this actually allows for central bank digital currencies to actually build within the XRP ledger on a private ledger to have central banks in control of those CBDCs, but also allows them to have a stable coin that is fully stable. And again, when we're talking about cautious about pursuing these because of a stable financial system, that allows for them to build within that and actually have that stable, financial system. This is also going to allow a lot of those to be plug and played. It's going to be great because it doesn't have to change the infrastructure that these banks are actually building on. And I think that this is great for the overall innovation of these infrastructures to really kind of bridge into that nice new age of pretty much fiat, if you will. It's essentially new fiat. Now, overall, right, I do also want to talk to you guys a little bit about connecting across the borders. Now, for anybody who can't read this, let's actually zoom in a little bit. So we do see here the vast majority of the CBDC initiatives are focused on domestic use cases. In a 2019 BIS survey, central banks rated cross-border payments as among their latest important considerations. This may be due to the fact that typically central banks are not part of cross-border payment flows and do not have the infrastructure to deal with related functions like transaction monitoring and know your customer KYC or anti-money laundering AML checks. Having a CBDC circulating in foreign jurisdictions will also impact a central bank's monetary policy and liquidity management. yet it is extremely short-sighted to overlook cross-border requirements just because these requirements come with additional challenges. In our globalized world, consumers and businesses will inevitably have to need to transact with foreign suppliers and vendors. CBDCs that are interoperable with each other will give those countries a competitive advantage, much like how being part of a trading bloc benefits member nations. Now, the biggest part of this is this: CBDCs that are interoperable with each other will give those countries a competitive advantage. Interoperability is one of the most undervalued use cases within this space. And I just want to bring you guys back to this article here. The reason why this works so well is because they are working with quant networks. They're essentially, I've always said this, QNT is the network of networks. It is connecting all of these DLT assets, the distributed ledger technologies that are transacting on a day-to-day basis. It is allowing these assets to speak with one another in a gossip stage, to transact data, or I should say transact money like it's data, in such a fast environment that is not only efficient, but it's very fast, low cost, and again, when we're talking about how fast it's settled, 3 to 5 seconds, massive settle rates with low cost fees that are extremely cheap and affordable for anybody and pretty much all businesses alike. That is such a big stepping stone in this massive market. That is why we always talk about Swift essentially being disrupted by this technology, because it is huge at the end of the day. Now again, don't take my word for it. Look at this. By 2024, at least half of the world's population is expected to use digital wallets for transactions that will be valued at more than $9 trillion annually. That is the biggest stone here, right? And then, of course, we see bridging the gap of innovation. Interoperability, that is the biggest pain point right now. We are already solving that. We already have the solved problem. And again, on interoperable ledgers, that is the biggest point via an API. Guess who is focused on API interoperability and bridging of all DLTs? QNT. That is why I always say invest in QNT and also, of course, XRP, because you can't lose. Okay, and we do see here one example of a neutral bridge is digital asset XRP, which can be used to bridge two different currencies quickly and efficiently. Again, when we're talking about neutral bridges, those are huge because we do see here can support healthy alternative liquidity markets that will allow for frictionless and cost-effective value movement between various CBDCs in real time. Again, when we're talking about what Ripple's really kind of doing here, that on-demand liquidity is such a massive use case. I don't think people are finally I don't think people understand just how huge this actually is. When we're talking about the end goal for what Ripple is trying to do, we always look back at the quotes. First off, here's some Brad Garlinghouse quotes. If you aren't solving a real-world problem for real customers, you're not going to drive velocity and activity in that digital asset. For Ripple, that global liquidity problem is measured in the trillions of dollars. I think that people are realizing that Ripple is gaining traction, we're gaining engagement, and we're gaining more customers, so there's been interest in that. I don't think you can make a horse and Swift keep up with a race car like Ripple. Ripple is a centralized company investing on top of a decentralized technology called the XRP Ledger. We have a marathon ahead of us to execute, but we passed the starting line. Ripple provides validation on the XRP ledger, but we're not the only one. Participants in the ledger can choose to rely on us as a validator, and others, the choice is in their hands. We want to keep focusing on making XRP a valuable payments tool, and that value will increase accordingly. I don't look on the price of XRP in 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months, but in 3 and 5 years. We will do things to invest in the success of XRP ecosystem because that's in our best interest. There are going to be increasing opportunities to use XRapid, which again got rebranded as RippleNet, to solve a multi-trillion-dollar liquidity problem, and that's an exciting thing that you solve. A multi-trillion-dollar liquidity problem. What are they solving it with? Well, here you go. XRP through the ODL service. This is such a massive use case. I'm telling you guys, when you are not realizing the bigger picture here, this is it. This is it. This is the golden gate bridge for XRP holders. XRP being the ODL service, the line of credit for SMEs, the B2B, SME, P2P, all those great markets that are trillions of dollars in value. XRP and Ripple will be at the front running line for those markets and to really kind of disrupt those markets through something like a CBDC, a neutral bridge, ODL services, or just services alike in regards to even line of credit for SMEs, which we've already discussed multiple times, is such a massive use case. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, if you guys do want more content like my exit strategies, all that kind of stuff, you guys could get that on NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this video. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.